We spend so much time thinking about our online privacy, like what we search for, the photos we post online. But what about the data trail we leave just by walking down the street? Today, we're going to dive into a part of your digital life you probably don't even know exists. So let me ask you a question. Right now, as you go about your day, is the phone in your pocket leaving behind this invisible trail of digital breadcrumbs? Well, the short answer is a big yes, and it's happening whether you're using it or not.
And this invisible trail, it actually has a name. It's called your digital exhaust. It's kind of like how a car leaves fumes behind it as it drives. Our phones and devices are constantly puffing out these little signals into the world around us.
So, what exactly is this digital exhaust? Let's break down how this whole thing actually works. The key word here is passive. See, your phone is never really sleeping. It's constantly sending out these little hello signals, looking for Wi-Fi networks or Bluetooth devices to connect to, and every single one of those signals is a breadcrumb that, when gathered up, can pretty much map out your entire day.
The whole tracking process itself is surprisingly simple, really. It's like a three-step dance. First, your phone sends out its signal. Then, sensors nearby, in stores, in bus stops, you name it, they collect that signal. And finally, all that data gets analyzed to find patterns in how you move around.
Which, of course, brings us to the million-dollar question. Who's actually on the receiving end of all this data? Let's pull back the curtain on some of the major players that are collecting all this digital exhaust. First up is a company you've probably never heard of, but one that likely knows where you've been. It's a location technology company called Skyhook. Now, the secret sauce for Skyhook is how they combine everything. They don't just use one type of signal. Oh no, they layer Wi-Fi, cell tower, and GPS data all together. The result? A super precise, almost minute-by-minute history of your movements. Okay, next is a name you will definitely recognize, which just goes to show this isn't some tiny niche industry. We're talking about Microsoft. For Microsoft, it is all about scale. I mean, think about it. By gathering location data across their huge ecosystem of services and devices, they're not just mapping where you go. They're basically building a detailed story of your life, your commute to work, your favorite coffee shop, what you do on weekends. All right, our next player is a company called Here. They specialize in the mapping tech that a ton of other apps and services actually rely on. What Here does is zero in on Wi-Fi access points. Just imagine walking down a city street. Your phone is constantly pinging. Hello, Wi-Fi network. Hello, another one. Well, Here collects all those hellos, and they use the city's entire Wi-Fi infrastructure to trace your path from one block to the next. Now, for an organization with a fascinating name, considering what we're talking about, the Future of Privacy Forum. A little ironic, right? They work with data that comes from MAC addresses. The easiest way to think about a MAC address is like a unique serial number for your phone's Wi-Fi. This kind of tracking is often used for analytics in specific places, like tracking how people wander through a shopping mall or move through an airport. And for our last example, let's talk about a company called Basking. Basking really focuses on how spaces, like big office buildings, are used. Now, on the surface, the goal might be to analyze how groups behave to make things more efficient. But that underlying data, where devices are and when, can absolutely reveal the daily routines of individuals within that space. Okay, I know, learning about all of this tracking can feel a little unsettling, a little creepy. But here's the most important part of this whole explainer, because you are not powerless here. Not at all. After hearing about how your digital exhaust is being scooped up and used, the big natural question is, what can you actually do about it? The answer is so direct, and honestly, it's really powerful. For every single one of these services, you can just opt out. And this right here is the biggest takeaway. Every single company we just discussed, all 5 of them, offers a way for you to opt out. All it takes is filling out a simple form, and you are officially telling them, hey, stop using my device's signals for tracking. It's a direct, it's powerful, and it's a super simple step to start reclaiming your digital privacy. So taking just a few minutes to opt out can really help put the brakes on your digital exhaust. But that leaves us with one last thing to think about. Now that you've secured this signal, what other digital trails are you still leaving behind?